G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is a furious minigun. So, the minigun that we all know and hate back in Fallout 4 is back in Fallout 76, and the main question we're going to be asking through this video is, does this weapon still suck? Now, with the Furious effect, that's actually a pretty good pairing with the minigun, because obviously more rate of fire means more projectiles hitting your targets, which means more damage, 5% each time a bullet hits, and then I think it caps out at 45 is what I've been led to believe. So, if that's true, we can get a decent amount of damage, another half damage. That's pretty good. That's kind of like the extra executioner's effect on it, which is pretty good. Anyway, so we're sitting at 16 damage right now unupgraded, so let's go ahead and upgrade it. Obviously, a heavy weapon will be improved by heavy gunner, so we'll go ahead and chuck on 3 of those bad boys. There it is. We'll also be grabbing lock and load and bullet shield because that's just going to help us a little bit. And of course, in luck, we're going to chuck in a bloody mess for a little bit of extra damage. Gunsmith instead of demolitions expert to help this thing not degrade on me so quickly. So we're getting 29 damage a shot with this. Now this thing fires incredibly fast. And the reason that it does shoot so fast as we segue into the attachments is because it's got the accelerated barrel, which gives you a little bit better DPS at the cost of a little bit of range. Yeah, quite a little bit of range. So up close and personal is the name of the game when we're using this minigun. There is a tri-barrel that I haven't unlocked or haven't received the misc mod for in a vendor for me to try that out. But since this improves rate of fire, I feel like that'll be a better pairing on Furious than any other barrel. A gunner sight here. Interestingly, this little bit of metal on the top requires gunsmith rank 5. Maybe it's like for lining up the bullets. I don't know. But anyways, we've also got nothing on the muzzle. You can chuck a shredder on. I actually want to try out shredders, see if they work good like they did back in Fallout 4 on miniguns in Fallout 76. That'll reduce our range ever so slightly and increase the weight, so let's not do that there. And obviously there's a paint there. There's a chrome paint that I haven't got, but I think the standard paint is good enough. Okay, to craft ammo and to cover my ass if Bethesda decides to ban me for crafting multiple things at once, chuck on Super Duper in luck and Ammo Smith and Agility to create 5mm rounds, and trust me, we're gonna need them. I've just been going around collecting every single tin can thing I can find, and that'll give us many bullets. So I don't know how much we had before, but now we have 13,000, which is not bad at all. Okay, so here we are outside of West Tech as usual, and this is what we look like with a minigun. I like the power armor. Now, just to be safe, I'm just going to reapply some of the perks that I know sort of break sometimes when using power armor because, yeah, I don't want to really compromise on anything here. I want to go all out, and definitely making this thing break less by actually just like reapplying Gunsmith is going to be useful just to keep this thing running. Alright, looks like we're good to go. Let's see what the Furious minigun is made of. Ooh, okay. It's a start at least. A good start? I don't know. But once we get in nice and close and none of the bullets are missing, we can actually outdo the health regeneration with this. Although we're kind of standing here out in the open, which is a little bit hazardous to our health. But keep in mind we've also got adrenaline on us, so every kill that we get will be multiplying our damage ever so slightly, which is good. It's also worth noting it's just better to shoot at one target, make sure they die rather than switching targets, because then you'll lose out on a little bit of adrenaline damage. So yeah, not doing too bad with the minigun at the moment. It was slow to get going, but once adrenaline came into the equation, this thing started kicking a lot of ass. Now even from here I'm suffering a little bit from that range, I feel like. It just doesn't seem to be hitting quite as hard unless they're really up close and personal, so maybe the shredder barrel would have been nice. It'd be cool if you could just keep spinning it even if you're out of ammo. Alrighty, coming around to the muties at the back, we'll just get their attention before going in a little bit closer. Now the good thing about super mutants is they kind of like to stay still like that. It makes them very easy to hit, so stacking a lot of Furious damage on these guys is actually quite easy, which is convenient. We'll go for a critical spam there, and yeah, we're not getting too far with using that melee weapon, well, not melee weapons, that's miniguns, because the AP bar pretty much goes instantaneously. There's none of it left by the time you've spun up the barrel pretty much. There's yet another legendary. He goes down quite easily. And then we'll go ahead and shoot this guy a little bit in that, because I believe he's the last one. Yes, he is. So yeah, not too bad off the Furious minigun. I'm actually impressed with it so far. It doesn't seem to suck as bad as it did back in Fallout 4, which is definitely a good thing. Now the big question when it comes to using a minigun is whether it is using this over something like a Gatling gun. And sure, the rate of fire is a little bit lower, but the amount of efficiency you get out of the bullets as compared with this bullet spitting motherfucking thing. Yeah, you can see that you're going to be running out of bullets very, very quickly. Fortunately, super mutants tend to drop like 101 of these whenever you kill them, so sometimes it's actually easy to get a lot of these things if you're not actively using them all the time. And like you saw before, you get 180 per Ammo Smith run if you have Ammo Smith at rank 2, and a little bit extra from Super Duper, although I'm told that the extra from Super Duper doesn't account Ammo Smith into effect, so you are losing a little bit out, but it's nice just to have that extra bonus. Also, the mag size of 500, despite it firing incredibly fast like it does, this thing actually does a good job at, you know, holding a mag in it. You can actually shoot this thing for quite a while without having to reload, which is pretty decent. Now we just had another run-in with Born Survivor there, so we know we're getting our asses kicked a little bit, but now that we've got Adrenaline up and running, even Super Mutant Warlords, they die in a few seconds, but again, we're using so much of our ammunition here that I don't really know how long I can last. I haven't actually checked the Adrenaline damage on this, but we're definitely at 60%, and that gives us 47 damage, which, for a weapon with a rate of fire like this, it's actually a pretty good thing. So we'll move on to more dudes around here. Here they are, just sitting around. A lot of legendary guys in here. People have been telling me they're struggling with legendaries. Like, look at all these legendaries in front of me. If you can't find them, then you've got... No, okay, I'm not going to tell you you've got problems, but maybe your game's got problems. You're not spawning in servers that are likely to spawn legendaries. Because sometimes I get nothing, and then sometimes there's like 3 or 4 dudes at the same spot. So I really don't know how that works. I'd imagine it's got something to do with other people in the server. Perhaps if the location has been cleared out recently, you'll be okay to get not okay to get legendaries. They'll just be wiped from the face of the earth. But maybe if it's like been untouched by other players for a while, maybe you're right to go with that. Anyways, we'll clear out this wing now. We'll try to keep our adrenaline damage running as much as possible. Don't you regenerate, stop lagging on me, game. And yeah, with all of the extra armor penetration accuracy we get out of Stabilize, sorry I forgot the perk name for a second, this thing is actually quite accurate even at range. Now, kind of like the Gatling Plasma, there is a little bit of rattling around the recoil. It's a little bit unpredictable, but it's much more mild when using a minigun, which is odd because this thing is actually throwing projectiles that have weight to them rather than, you know, well, as compared to like plasma bolts. I'd imagine those things don't have a lot of weight to them. I'm not a physicist or a scientist or anything, but I'm pretty sure they're pretty light. That's why the ammunition's light, right? Anyways, so we're cruising through these super mutants pretty easily. My Discord is going apeshit right now. I apologize for that. I'm gonna tell whoever is messaging me right now to stop, or maybe I should just mute my Discord before recording. Normally it's not a problem. Anyways, Discord things aside, I think that's the 3rd Stimpack we've used, so yeah. If you've got Stimpaks to back you up with this, you can do pretty well, but other than that, you kind of struggle a little bit. Sure, the time to kill on this thing is really small. I just checked the rounds there, so I've used like 4,000 already, and yeah, we've only cleared out 1 location, so definitely not the most ammo efficient thing in the world, so you definitely need something like Super Duper or Ammo Smith to both to actually get this to work, or you could just use a Gatling gun and get better damage per bullet. Anyway, up to you. Okay, let's see if we can't get a better turnout this time. And I really don't like using all of those bullets to blow up the cars again, but at least the explosions are cool. Michael Bay taught me that. Alrighty, let's see it, ghoulies. Where are ya? Okay, I can hear a couple of them. They're on the, yep, alright, here they come. We'll just get their attentions by shooting at them with a very, very loud minigun. It's like Hitler's buzzsaw, except it's not an MG42. That exists in the game, so just ignore what I said there. But I meant to say it's like just a sound that keeps going. Is the barrel even heating up? Holy shit. I just got outwitted by fucking Hannah and her ghoulie friends. That's okay. We can just tank this. We're in tanky power armor. And look at all the blood everywhere. Wow. Okay. Let's just keep a count of how much 5mm we use for this, because it's important to know how much we're actually using. I'm not going to reload because counting the bullets post would be annoying, so we'll just keep on shooting the ghouls. There's the manager again doing jack shit. So true, right? Yeah, that's right. Wage cucks rise up. And there's a dude down here. I don't know what he's thumbs upping at. Maybe he's saying your minigun's shit, mate. Which I would say, not really. Alright, how long are we... Okay, there's just a couple more ghoulies around the corner, apparently. Oh, wait, no, they're up in the roof, as usual. They really don't like getting... Okay, at least the other one jumped down. And that is a clean sweep. We've used like 500 and something, just fucking heaps of bullets. So I wonder what's going on there. I don't know. But yeah, definitely not the most ammo efficient approach to it, but it'll get you... It'll do alright against ghouls, especially when you got that adrenaline going. So yeah, not too bad. This is a legendary haul, by the way. This is what we've got so far. I want to keep the Furious Radium Rifle and the Quad Combat Shotgun. I feel like those are pretty good weapons. Okay, we're going to do this as stealthily as possible, you know, like with a minigun. We're going to emerge from some trees and then we're going to take them out. Oh, for those sneak attack criticals stacking all that damage, it's not actually doing all that much. Let's just close the gap just a little bit so we can see some better damage out of this. Wow, he's got an impressive stagger range on that stick of his. Ha! We blew his arm off with 5 mils no less. Well, there you go. Also, a quick round check, by the way. So we've got, yeah, 8790 left. I started off this video with like 13,000. Damn, minigun's hungry. Alrighty, time to crack some crabby crustaceans. Oh, damn it. I was going for alliteration and I sort of failed. Also, that dude is sliding along. That's some impressive powers you've got there. Mirelurk, Deep King, man. Little Strangler Mirelurk. They're squishy. They shouldn't even be here. They're not allied with the Strangler. None of the other people around here or other crabs around here are allied with the Strangle Vine, so I don't know why they're here. They should replace them with Blood Rage Mirelurks. We don't see enough of those blokes. Anyways, so Miss Queenie comes out because we've wasted all of her friends. And yep, at damage 60+%. And wow, this thing is fucking... It's almost dead. Which is a shame because I think I'm out of springs. Also, we're getting roasted by acid. Damn it. Of all the times of this thing... I reckon that since I service swapped to kill Swan before, it's unequipped gunsmith. That's why it's going down so far. 'Cause this thing was like half health when I first took out Swan, so there's something wrong with the perks here. We'll continue with the Gatling Plasma instead. And this brings me to my point about this. If you like weapons like the Furious Minigun, you might as well just go for the Gatling Plasma instead. Sure, its rate of fire is a little bit less and the stacking damage is a little bit less overwhelming on your enemies, but the ammo is lighter. Actually, I'm not really sure about that. Definitely the damage is better for what it is, so it's something for you to pivot into. I was just using that off generally Fallout ammo is lighter, but maybe it's not the case for the plasma cores feeding this thing. But if you want to go for energy heavy weapons or a heavy weapons build in general, you probably want to pivot into weapons like the Gatling Plasma anyways. So I'll kill these fucking things that are really hard to hit. We'll repair the weapon again and we'll test it against a Scorch Beast. Alright, I've just found some guy. he murdered Power On. We have to do him justice, and justice is best served on a Furious minigun. I was about to say 50 cal minigun.
Jesus, that does like 0 fucking damage.
You kept healing from it. What the fuck?
Yeah.
And the guy has been vanquished. Once again, justice has been returned to this fucking wasteland. We shall bury Power On in our ammo factory. We'll use him to feed our forges so I can make more ammo because I've just wasted like 5,000 rounds on this. Oh well. Okay, some dead bears later. Let's just grab out our actual minigun here. Let's get started. And also, is that like 8,000 bullets now? Man, this has been a drain on my resources now, hasn't it? Okay, so standard procedure applies, and wow, okay, that's interesting. We actually successfully burst there without having to spin the barrel up again. So maybe you can do that in VATS? I'm not really sure, but hopefully the Scorch Beast will land so we can actually shoot it with our full potential, because I'm sure he's like dancing on the end of our range here and we're getting a little bit of a damage penalty, and it's like the worst thing you could have with a minigun. At least we've got some good armor penetration. Now Scorch Beasts have pretty tough armor. It's in the couple of hundreds, I think, which is pretty significant, so punching through almost half of that is definitely a good thing. We have to wait for his behavior to sort of come together. Oh yes, okay, here he goes. We've got 300 in the magazine, so we'll just go for his face. He's going to do his scream thing. He's going to stagger us, but for some reason, minigun barrels, and that applies to the Gatling plasma as well. They keep spinning sometimes, even though you could be staggered. So there you go. So not terrible performance against a Scorch Beast there. Obviously, it's a lot easier to kill them when they're on the ground, but oftentimes you will get somewhat good behavior out of Scorch Beast. Sometimes they get bored with flying around, want to make things close and personal, but I think that'll about do it for the Furious minigun there. Unfortunately, the barrel doesn't go red hot anymore. I could fire this thing like 1,000 times over. The barrel would not change color at all, so that kind of sucks. Maybe it's due to network problems, something limitations of this game. I don't really know. Anyways, if you'd like to see this in your game, I suggest hitting up Friends, maybe Market 76. I'd imagine these would go for cheap. If you'd like to purchase this one shown in the video, do let me know. I think I'll get rid of this one for probably in favor of the Furious Gatling Plasma, but I'll find a minigun worth using yet. You just see. Thank you for watching, guys.